In this video, we will factor by grouping and we will solve 3 problems. This will be the first problem, the second problem, and finally the third problem. So the first problem, we have x squared times x minus 1 minus 9 parentheses x minus 1. And what we notice here is that what's common is x minus 1. X minus 1 is here, and x minus 1 is here. And so by factoring by grouping, we could say x squared minus 9. X squared minus 9 times the common term, times x minus 1. And this makes sense because x squared times this is this, minus 9 times this is this. And that's why it works. And the next step is we can actually factor this out. So we could get x plus 3 times x minus 3, and that would be x squared minus 9, because x times x is x squared, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, x times negative 3 is negative 3x, plus 3 times x is 3x, so we have 0x, and x minus 1 remains the same. And now we'll solve the second problem. So we have 4x squared times x minus 3 minus 25 parentheses x minus 3. And so the first step is the grouping step. So we have x minus 3 here and x minus 3 here. It's common in both of these terms. So we could say parentheses 4x squared minus 25 times x minus 3. And if you think about it, 4x squared times this would be this, and minus 25 times this would be this term right here. And so it works. However, we can actually factor this out. 4x squared minus 25, it can be factored into parentheses 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. Because 2x times 2x is 4x squared, 5 times negative 5 is negative 25, 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x, 2x times 5 is 10x, so negative 10x plus 10x is 0x. And so this right here would be the final answer in complete factored form. And now for the final problem. Now this problem is a little bit different. Like these two problems, they gave you the common grouping term. This one, you need to think about it. So we have x cubed minus 2x squared plus minus 16x plus 32. And so for this right here, what's common is x squared. I could say x squared parentheses x minus 2. This would be x squared times x is x cubed. X squared minus 2 is minus 2x squared. Next, we can take a common factor of negative 16 for this, and we would get negative 16 parentheses x minus 2. Negative 16 times x is minus 16x. Negative 16 times negative 2 would be plus 32. And now what we have is similar to this and this, where our common grouping term would be x minus 2, x minus 2. So we could say parentheses x squared minus 16 times parentheses x minus 2. This works because x squared times x minus 2 would be this, minus 16 times this would be this. And so the next step is to factor this out further. We could do that by parentheses x plus 4 times x minus 4. This is because x times x is x squared. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. 4 times x is 4x. So negative 4x plus 4x is 0x. And x minus 2 remains the same. So this right here would be the final answer. And that's how we can factor by grouping.